ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः साङ्ख्ययोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः अविनाशि तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति। अन्तवन्त इमे देहाः नित्यस्योक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्मादुज्यस्व भारत। येनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणः न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं येनमजमव्ययं कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकं वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्य सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैवं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येद्धे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देहि नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्याद्धियुद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतं सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम् अध चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते अव्ययां सम्भावितस्य च कीर्तिः मरणादतिरिच्यते भयाद्रणादुपरतं मंस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतः भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किं हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्थिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि एषा ते विहिता साङ्ख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पार्थ कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य जायते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनां यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्य विपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपराः जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृतचेतसां Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadho na vidhiyate. Traigunya vishaya vedaha nistraigunyo bhavarjuna. Nidvandvo nitya sattvastho niryoga kshema atmavan. Yavan ardha udapane sarvata samplutodake. Tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhuhu ma te sangostva karmani yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Durena hyavaram karma buddhiyoga dhananjaya buddho sharanamanvicha krupana phalahetavaha buddhiyukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karma sukaushalam karmajam buddhiyuktahi Phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantyanāmayam yada te moha kalilam buddhirvyatitarishyate tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya shruti vipratipanna yada stasya nischala Samadhavachala buddhihi samadho na vidhiyetno samadhavachala buddhihi tada yogamavapsyasi. Brahmara, will you go back to our Pachya Sloka? Yeah.
Anand, there is a question. One second.
Yeah. Yes, please.
I'll just project that question. One second.
Okay, good.
Oh, I'm not able to go down. One second.
Oh, this is a huge page.
No, huge page only, but the last question is what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to read out the question because I think it's difficult for me to move the page for some reason.
Okay.
I will just read out the question.
Yeah.
Sunita Agarwal ji has asked this. It seems Antakarana Shuddhi through Karma Yoga is a prerequisite for Atma Jnana. Can Antakarana Shuddhi be done through Mayarpita Mano Buddhihi or surrender to Lord through mind and intellect?
Surrender to Lord through mind and intellect. Yeah, if that can be done, wonderful. Now, Antakarana Shuddhi can be done by what else she suggested?
Nana, this is Sunita here. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I karma yoga is through doing our duty, offering things to divine. But sometimes, let's say we are not doing enough for the karma yoga. So can we through surrendering Lord, can we attain Chitta Shuddhi or Atma Jnana?
You can, but it depends on the nature of surrender.
Okay.
If the surrender is by a simple prayer, I surrender, etc., that may not really help. Right? Antakarana Shuddhi. Antakarana, this mind is what? Chanchalam. Arjuna himself will say, Chanchalam himana Krishna, Pramadi balavadrudam, Tasyaham nigraham manye, Vayoho iva sudushkaram. Like even holding air, Vayu, how it's difficult to hold air. So too, I consider holding the mind very firm with me on the chosen topic for me. It is going away, running away from me. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. That kind of a manaha is the antakarana, and that mind is required to be purified, and that requirement of the mind is that it wants to play about. Generally it wants some kind of an avenue to get away from wherever you want to put it. You are a mumukshu. You have got the diksha for moksha, but the mind does not have. Now you will have to inculcate in the mind that kind of a desire and make that firm. That is possible by a constant practice of karma yoga. Constant practice of karma yoga means karma yoga is what? You keep on doing karma, but it is not karma. You do karma without the bhavana that you are doing, number one. Number two, you don't have any craving for the karma phala. Whatever karma phala that you would get, you offer it to the Lord. Okay? Ishwararpana buddhiya karma kuru. With that buddhi, you keep on doing karma. And the third thing is, whatever karma phala that accrues to you because of the karma you have done, you consider that as the prasadam from the Lord. Right? With that prasada buddhi, you take. You take that, you are a mumukshu, and mumukshu has got what? What viveka the mumukshu has got? Nitya anitya vastu vivekaha. Nitya anitya vastu vivekaha the mumukshu has got. And with that, you keep on acting in the world and pick up such of those actions which are dharmic, which are not unethical, and which are in keeping with dharma. And the karma phala, you offer it to the Lord. Whatever the phala that comes, though you initially have offered, supposing the karma phala happens to be sour, you take that as prasadam from the Lord. Sukha dukkhe same krutva, labha alabha jaya ajayo, tato yuddhaya yujyasva, naivam papam avapsyasi. Bhagavan said, and concluded that Sankhya Yoga portion by saying, Esha te abhita Sankhe, Esha te abhita Sankhe. All this has been unfolded to you in the Sankhya Shastra. Sankhe buddhihi. This wisdom is given to you from the Sankhya Shastra, okay? And yoge tvimam chruno. Buddhya yukto yaya pada karma bandham prahasyasi. With the yoga buddhi, that is karma yoga buddhi, how you will cross over the karma bandha, shruno, karma bandham prahasyasi. And how will you cross karma bandham? Because karma yoga anushtana is also karma. It is considered karma, is it not? And Upanishad Vakya is what? Through karma you can't gain moksha. Na karmana, na prajaya, dhanena. Tyage naike amrutattva manashu. This is a often quoted Vedanta Vakya from the Upanishad. Not only that, when such is the case, Krishna Bhagavan is mentioning to Arjuna, he is saying what? Sukha dukkhe same krutva. And how do you keep sukha dukkha sama equal? How do you again get back to the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti? One of those is what? Titiksha. Titiksha kidrushi. What is titiksha? Shitoshna sukha dukkha di sahishnutvam. Sahishnutvam. And here, this goes a step forward. Not only sahishnutvam, you do not mind that happening to you. Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha alabho jaya ajayo. And this karma yoga anushtana is not a small thing. And this karma yoga anushtana, without this, the mind does not get purified. And without the pure mind, there is no question of jnana taking place. And there is no question of any mumukshu getting moksha. You may have the desire to be a mumukshu and do nothing blessed about it. So nothing, you will sit there only, being just a mumukshu, doing the mumukshu mantra japa, nothing else. You will have to have a systematic approach to cleansing the mind. And in the clean mind only the jnana can take place. The jnana like aham brahmasmi, that is a Veda mantra. That what is the impetus of that in our mind now? It's nothing, just an input to the mind. It's just a talking point for the intellect. Beyond that, has it been our being? Have I become? Have I been Brahma? Not become. That become is wrong. Have I been Brahma? Secondly, the Shastra says, hey, you are Atma. You are Atma. You need not do anything to become Atma. You're already that Atma. You're already that Brahma. You just need to know. And for you to know what is required, the Jnana Deepika is required. The fire of knowledge is required. The light of knowledge is required to throw away the darkness which has engulfed all of us. And with that, it will be possible for rediscovery of who we indeed are. We need not do anything to become Atma. We are already that. That is what the Shastra Bodha is. Jnanatevatu kaivalyam. Only with jnana you can get kaivalyam. Kaivalyam is what? Kevalasya svabhavaha. You just that and nothing else. Just that and nothing else. Sat Chit Ananda Swarupaha, nothing else. So when such is the case, Bhagavan mentioning to Arjuna, Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha alabha jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujyasva karma bandham prahasisi. You will cross over karma bandha. That does not mean karma will release you from bondage. No. This karma yoga anushtanena, after cleansing the mind, and in the mind when the jnana takes place, this doership is knocked down because of jnana taking place. When the doership is knocked down, karma bandham prahasyasi. That is how. It's a kind of a systematic approach. It's a systematic approach. And this is a must. It is a prerequisite for jnana, karma yoga anushtana. That is why throughout the Gita, karma yoga has been hammered everywhere, including in the 18th chapter, which is a kind of a sum up of the entire Gita. Upasamhara, it is said. It is kind of withdrawing what all he has said and summing up what all he had to say in the 18th chapter. So, karma bandham prahasyasi. Have I made myself clear, madam?
Yes, yes, yes. The thing is, um, giving up the doership is the challenge. That is why I was wondering, like, if we are not able to give up doership in karma bandhan, then probably surrender is the way. But it is clear what you are saying, step by step process, and
Correct.
we have to continue doing it. Yes.
Yes. Doership is not removed, though during the karma yoga anusthana, you start off saying you are not the doer and you offer the karma phala to the Lord, etc. Even though you do that, it is a paroksha offering. It is not an offering which is based on your anubhava. That anubhava will come jnanena, and the jnana will come with manaparisudhyena, and that will come karma yoga anushthanena. This is how it is. This is how it is. Karma yoga anusthana, manaparisudhyam, then jnana pravesham, then the doership is knocked off, then all these karma bandhas are removed. There is no other way for karma bandhas to go. Some Mahatma cannot give you some mantra and say, wish it, it's gone. You can relax, go home, all your karma bandhas are gone. That is all funny. That kind of a thing cannot happen. Nobody can remove your karma bandhas. Like even your bank account, nobody else can operate, only you can. This is like the bank account. You can only operate. You can only dissolve that bank account, right? Nobody else can. If somebody else says they will do that, please do not believe. Like yesterday I said, anything that any Mahatma says, take that as an acid test for the 3 points I said. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava. That Mahatma, what he has said, is it in conformity with the Shruti Vakyas? Shruti is what?
Vedas.
Vedanta. Vedanta. Upanishad Vakyas. Shruti. Then Shruti, Yukti. Yukti means, is it rational? Is it logical? Is it applying to the intellect? Is it much beyond my appreciation? Can anybody else appreciate this? Etc. That is Yukti. Then the third thing is Anubhava. Has it been your Anubhava? What was said? Has it been your Anubhava? Or does it come into your Anubhava? If it does not conform to any one of these 3, you please set that Mahavakya from that Mahatma aside and go forward with your trials. Your trials for Karma Yoga Anusthana. This is the sure way for success. Right? Neha Bhikramanoshosthi Nashosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Mahato Bhayat Trayate. Then we have covered another verse also, I think. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi Eke Kurunandana Bahushakashyanantasya Buddhayo Avyavasayinam. Buddhayaha Avyavasayinam. That is people who do not have any clarity of thinking. Vyavasaya means a kind of a determination based on proper rational thinking for your good. Your good is what? Moksho me bhuyat iti ichuhu aham. Aham mumukshuhu. I am a mumukshu. So, what do I want? I want moksha. Do I want moksha in addition to some other thing, some other thing, some other thing? Maybe you will have to make the Purushartha Nishchaya. Purusharthas are what? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Now, how well are you entrenched into your desire for moksha, that mumukshu? Why? Why do you want moksha? What will it get you? Can't you do without moksha? Keep on debating this. And then finally, arrive at a clarity of thinking that becomes vyavasayatmika buddhihi. That kind of a buddhihi, ekeha kurunandana, only that you do, Arjuna, kurunandana. Bahushakahi anantasya buddhayo avyavasayinam. People who do not have any proper clarity of thinking, they don't guide their minds properly in their pursuits. They may simply, in a very, very vanishing manner, desire to be a mumukshu, etc., etc., and keep on attending classes and Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Bhagavad Gita, and some Upanishad, so many things. And all those things become, if they become simple inputs into the library of the mind, and afterwards it is totally forgotten. And into the library of the mind, whatever inputs have gone, they have started collecting dust. It does not help. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana bahushakahi anantascha. People who collect all this information into their mind, into their mind's library, afterwards they do not do anything. Then what happens is bahushakahi anantascha. They will have a lot of other avocations and ananta avocations, and all those things, they require different kinds of thoughts, isn't it? And those thoughts will simply hijack them, and Atma Vicharana takes a backseat totally. So, Bahushakahi Anantasya Buddhayo Avyavasayinam. Avyavasayinam Buddhayaha Bahushakahi Anantasya. And what kind of that set of people are they? Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha vedavadarata pardha na anyadastiti vadinaha kamatmanaha swargaparaha janma karma phala pradam kriya visesha bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya apahruta chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. That samadhau means in the mind. Na vidhiyate means it does not obtain. That vyavasayatmika buddhi does not happen in the mind. When it does not happen in the mind, how can you have any anusthana? Forget about karma yoga. Anything, any commitment, how can you have? When you have a wavering type of mind, avyavasayina buddhihi, how can you do anything? There is no commitment, and there is no interest to continue doing what nice things you have picked up. And the nice things you are not really so very well knowledgeable about those nice things. Like in the Tattva Bodha and Atma Bodha, we started saying what? That sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari is required. That adhikari, that the qualified person is required for this Atma Vidya. It is not for everybody. Everybody, it will be a simple input. It will be like reading a newspaper. Like this Gita Vakyas, which Brahmara projected, it's like reading a newspaper. And after you read the newspaper, what do? You throw it away. And afterwards, you don't worry about that. Next day's newspaper, some other thing. Bahushaka hyanantasya buddhayo avyavasayinam. And those people, yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha. Yam imam pushpitam vacham. I will read out the Tatparya for you. It will be easy for understanding. Arjuna, those who are full of worldly desires and devoted to the letter of the Vedas. Letter of the Vedas means the Karmakanda portion of the Vedas, who look upon heaven as a supreme goal and argue that there's nothing beyond heaven, are unwise. They utter pushpitam vacham, flowery speech, recommending many rituals of various kinds for the attainment of pleasure and power, with rebirth as their fruit. Those whose minds are carried away by such words and who are deeply attached to pleasures and worldly power cannot attain the determinate intellect concentrated on God. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhavana vidhiyate. Now, get back to the verse, Brahmara. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanchi avipaschitaha. Pravadanti. Pravadanti means what? Pushpitam vacham, very flowery language they use. And it's very easy for everybody to fall for that. Tremendous control of language and a lot of beautiful words picked up, very poetical in their addressing people. And yamimam pushpitam vacham. And you will say, aha, oh, what a great input I am getting now. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. Prakarshena vadanti. Very, very nicely they say. Who are those? Avipaschitaha. Avipaschitaha means people who are not able to see clearly. There's no clarity in their thinking. Avipaschitaha means what? Nitya, anitya, vastu viveka, vihinaha. Nitya, anitya, vastu viveka, vihinaha. And is not nitya, anitya, vastu vivekaha one of the prerequisites for a sadhaka, for a qualified sadhaka? And nitya vastu is what? Brahma. Nitya vastu vekam Brahma. These people, they do not worry about this Brahma. These people do not worry about Atma. They do not even consider themselves as Atma. They will not grant that others are equally like them Atma. But they keep on talking more and more, using flowery language regarding the rituals as prescribed in the Karmakanda portion of the Veda. Nothing wrong in that. The Karmakanda portion of the Veda, rituals are prescribed, which I believe they will give the desired results. But you will be bound by the results. You cannot, that karma bandham prahasyasi is not possible. You will be bound by the results. And when you are bound, you are a mumukshu, isn't it? If you are a mumukshu, you want to get out of bondage or you want to get further bound. It's a choice. That is where I said you will have to have purushartha nishchaya. That nishchaya everybody will have to make on their own. Purushartha nishchaya. What do I want?
Nana,
What
I
kind
have
of,
yeah, sorry, I have a question. We've been saying scriptures and the Vedas, Shastras, you have to have Shraddha in on one side. And on the other side, I would like to understand what is the purpose of the Vedas. The Karmakanda part is also part of the Vedas as much as the Vedanta or the Jnanakanda is.
Correct.
If the from what we understand from Tattva Bodh, Atma Bodh, the Mumukshutvam and attaining Atma Jnana is the ultimate purpose of life. Such is the case, then why do we have the karma kanda of the Vedas? Is it not sidestepping a person who's a mumukshu? For instance, if you're talking on one side, vyavasayatmika buddhi, you need to have a a determined intellect. When you have to direct all your effort, all your purushartha towards gaining self-knowledge, then why do we have the karmakanda part of this? Why do we have pujas and rituals and um,
Yeah,
little
good, good
yeah.
question. Yeah, good question. Very good question. You and I and totally another 16 persons are participating today in this Zoom discussion of Bhagavad Gita. Right? And how many people are there? How many people are there who could have perhaps participated? They have not. That means what? Their interest is elsewhere. You have got an adhikari. You have got a qualification. This adhikaritvam also is of 3-4 kinds. Uttama adhikari, madhyama adhikari, adhama adhikari, adhamadhama adhikari. Right? The Karmakanda portion of the Veda is not for the Uttama Adhikari, because Uttama Adhikari will not touch it with a big pole, will not touch. He has already graduated. The Karmakanda portion will help you gain some discipline, some commitment, and some kind of a nishtha with which you can later on get on to doing karma yoga anushtana. Karma kanda, there's nothing wrong in the karma kanda. It is required. It is required for the other adhikaris. Right? For the not so uttama adhikari, the karma kanda portion is there. And those people, what do? Pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha. Avipaschitaha means they do not have any knowledge of nitya, anitya, vastu vivekaha. Avipaschitaha, vedavadarataha. And they say, this is mentioned in the Veda Karmakanda. And this I believe, and I strongly recommend to you, Vedavadarata Pardha. Na anyadastiti vadinaha. There is nothing other than this. You need not go beyond this sentence, beyond this chapter of the Karmakanda of the Veda. Vadinaha, they keep on arguing on that. Kamatmanaha, Atmanaha, Kamaha, and they are full of Kama, Kamatmanaha. What kind of Kama? What kind of Kama? Swalabha. Kama, Kamatmanaha, Swargaparaha. They will do all these rituals, yajnas, yagas, only for attaining to Swarga, Swargaparaha. Not only that, Swarga eva paraha. Swarga is the only supreme thing, there's nothing other than that. Swargaparaha, Janma Karma Phala Pradam. And that also, these things, if you do these rituals, Janma Karma Phala Pradam, you will get a better birth next time. Janma Karma Phala Pradam, Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, Bhogaishwarya Gatim Prati. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, they keep on doing a lot of activities in connection with that ritual. They with tremendous interest and interest, and also maybe commitment they will do. And if you are anywhere nearby, you are finished. You are also sucked into that. Kamatmanaha, Swargaparaha, Janma Karma Phala Pradam, Kriya Vishesha Bahulam, Bhogaishwarya Gatim Prati. They will say, this is required, this ritual, this yajna, this yaga required, because you will get that bhoga, this pleasure, and you will get this kind of a wealth, Aishwarya Gatim Pratam. all these things, and they are interested only in the pleasure and enjoyment, bhoga, aishwarya, and a better janma later, and also go to Swarga. Go to Swarga and do what? And what is Swarga? Swarga is mentioned by Bhagavan Krishna also. So we have to tend to believing that it exists, because Swayam Bhagavan has talked of Swarga. Yadruchaya chopapannam swargadvaram apavrutam, he has said earlier. And when such is the case, yeah, Swarga is there. And what do you do in Swarga? What do? You will have maybe a little more pleasures, little less set of laws and rules and regulations. Maybe you can get up very late, do nothing. I believe in Swarga you will have no hunger, so you need not do any cooking, baking, and do what? No tea, no coffee. What kind of a life is that? I don't know. Anyway, Swarga Paraha. And these people, they are keen on attaining to that Swarga and say that is the only supreme thing. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Apa Pruta Chetasam. People who keep on talking about Bhoga. Bhoga is what? The pleasure. Indulgence in pleasure, in pleasurable situations. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam. Aishwarya, wealth. All kinds of wealth. Okay? Prasaktanam. They keep on talking about only these two. You will come across some set of people, whenever you see them, they will, the couple of people you see, they will talk of only one subject, nothing else. Like say two cricketers, when you see them talking, they will talk cricket and nothing else. They will talk of bowling, no ball, wide ball, 4, 6. This I have won, that I have lost, I should have converted this, etc., etc. That's all. That is all. So people will keep on talking about whatever they are interested in. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Apahruta Chetasam. Their minds are nicely robbed away. Taya Apahruta. Taya means Bhoga Ishwarya Prasakti. That has Apahruta Chetasam. The minds have been hijacked, robbed away. For such kind of people, Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi, the clarity of thinking, and any determination based on that kind of a thing, Samadhau na vidhiyate. It does not occur in the mind. It does not occur in the mind. What do we have to do? We have to get out of all these things. Pushpitam vacham pravadanti. We should not indulge in this kind of a pushpitam vacham. Okay? Avipaschitaha. We are not avipaschitaha. We know at least paroksha jnanena. We have got what? Nitya anistya vastu vivekaha we have got. And we have got viragaha. What is viragaha? Iha amutra phala bhoga viragaha. Amutra is Swarga. And Swarga is being talked of by this Kamatmanaha. So we are not interested in even this Swarga. So we are not Adipaschitaha. So we must get rid of all these negativities. Vedavataratah Partha. Undoubtedly, Karmakanda portion talks of beautiful rituals, and they, I believe, give, if properly conducted, those rituals, yajnas, yagas, whatever, they will give the desired result, I believe. And the result will bind the person who is doing that ritual. You are bound further. You are already bound. Now you are bound further and further and further. You want that? So this is where the Purushartha Nishchaya is required by each and every individual. What do you want? What do you want in this Janma? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Modhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dhukrun karane. These kind of Vedabadartaha, etc. All these are dhukrun karane. These yajnas, yagas, these things, they will not take you forward. They will keep on binding you further and further. You're already very nicely bound. Your effort is to unbind yourself from all these bondages. That is the mumukshutvam for you. And you must not have all these negativities. Kamatmanaha. No, you should not be a part of this bandwagon of Kamatmanaha. Swarga paraha. Other than Swarga, nothing is there. Other than Swarga, Satchitananda Swarupaha is there, which you are. The Vedanta Vakyas proclaim Tattvamasi, Tvam Brahmasi, you are Brahma indeed. And when such is the case, what is this Swargaparaha? That is the only supreme thing. This is all funny. Knock it off. Janma karma phala pradam. That will give you a better janma karma phala pradam, and it will give you better results. When you are very keen on getting rid of all kinds of samsara bandhas, and janma is one of those, you are a mumukshu, you do not want another janma, is it not? And why do you want to have these rituals for a better janma, things like that? So get rid of that. And kamatmanaha swargaparaha janma karma palapradam kriya vishesha bahulam, all kinds of beautiful activities they will undertake. You don't waste your lifetime undertaking these kind of activities, because they are not going to be beneficial to you. What is hitam to you, what is shreyas to you, you must undertake. Like Arjuna has asked, Shishyasteham Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam Yetu Shreyaha Nishchitam Bruhi. What is extremely beneficial, what is mokshadayakam, that is Shreyas. What is mokshadayakam? Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme. That you please tell me. Tanme. Shishyasteham Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam. And Bhagavan Krishna has given these set of verses. And even in his time, I think a lot of people have been doing these things. Otherwise, Bhagavan Krishna would not have said these. There have been people who are getting stuck here, and they're getting stuck there. They're not mumukshus. They will have to wait for some more janmas to get into the mood with which we have come on to this Gita Adhyayanam. They also will have to, they will one day or the other, there is no escape. Okay. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Bhoga Ishwarya Gatim Prati Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktan, 1 minute. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Bhoga Aishwarya Prasak, that only Bhoga Aishwarya, that only that they keep on talking. Taya apakruta chetasam vyavasayatmaka buddhihi samadhau navidhiyate. Unless this vyavasayatmaka buddhi happens in the mind, you cannot undertake karma yoga anusthana at all. And without karma yoga anusthana, there is no way you can cleanse your mind. When you cannot cleanse your mind, and in the unclean, dirty mind, jnana cannot take place. Jnana of what? Jnana of yourself. You are that. Tat tvam asi. But there is only an input to you, an intellectual input to you. It has not been your anubhava. For that to be your anubhava, you will have to have the vyavasayatmika buddhi, and that should happen in the mind. And with that kind of a mind, you must undertake karma yoga anusthana, which will enable knowledge to take place in the mind. Yes, Brahmara, you wanted to say something.
Yes, Nana. With respect to our karma, dharma, basically, there are different kinds of dharma you had mentioned earlier. Dharma and karma, basically. You said there are nitya karmas, naimittika karmas. So, in the nitya karma part, can you clarify what a grihastha should be doing as nitya karma? And in that, are puja, sandhya vandanam, all these are also included as nitya karma?
Yes.
If so, don't they come into the karma kanda part of the Vedas?
No. See, listen.
I'm confused over there.
No. Your nitya karma, you can pick and choose your nitya karma if you want. Like I would say, my nitya karma is, I will chant several shlokas, then get on to Vishnu Sahasranamam, then get on to Aditya Hrudayam, then get on to Gita. From A to Z of the Gita, daily I will do. It is your pick. What do you want? You pick. What is going to be hitam for you? What is going to be, in your opinion, beneficial for you for all times? You pick that. Simply because something else said somewhere. Because, like I said, different kinds of adhikaris are there. If you think you are a better evolved adhikari, you drop what was prescribed for the lower adhikaris. If you think you are not a Madhyama adhikari, you are in between Madhyama and Uttama adhikari, you get on to better activities as part of your Nitya karma. And your Naimittika karma, whatever, also must be picked properly. Some Naimittika karmas you cannot avoid, you must do. Like the Pitru Karyas and things like that. I'm not talking of that. Something else. Like you would like to do this, you would like to do that. Once in a while. Yeah, what is that once in a while you want to do? Why you want to do? How is that going to be beneficial to you? This kind of a vyavasayatmika buddhi you must entertain in your mind. And you must debate. Fearlessly, you must debate within yourself. Why I said fearlessly is, there are two minds which keep on clashing with each other when you keep on discussing this. There is a kind of a good mind, there is a bad mind. The bad mind will keep on supporting whatever dirty things I may be doing. Suppose I may be doing some dirty things, the bad mind will support that. The good mind says, hey, it's not required, it is not going to be beneficial. You have been doing this for so many years, there's no progress, you are where you are, what is the benefit you have derived, etc. But the bad mind will simply bat it away. So you will have to take care of that bad mind. Bad mind is like a thief, good mind is like the police. The police will have to very nicely catch the thief and imprison the thief. Then only you can go forward. Right? So, yeah, we'll go. I think we'll have time for just another verse. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhav na vidhiyate. Traigunya vishaya vedaha nistraigunya bhavadhyuna. Nidvandvo nitya sattvasto niryoga kshema atmavan. Traigunya vishaya vedaha. These Vedas are talking of what? Traigunya vishayaha. That is sattva rajas tamo gunas. They keep on talking of all those. Nistraigunya bhavadhyana. Hey, you become a gunatitaha. There is incidentally Gunatraya Vibhaga Yogaha, which is the 14th chapter of the Gita. There, Bhagavan's prabodha will be Nistraigunya bhavadhyana. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunya Bhavadyuna Nirdvandvo. Nirdvandvo means the pairs of opposites. You win over. Nirdvandvo. You go beyond these pairs of opposites which are troubling you. What are the pairs of opposites troubling you? Janma, Marana, Sukha, Dukkha, Labha, Nashta, Jaya, Apajaya, etc., etc. All these are dvandvas. Nirdvandvo. Win over all these pairs of opposites. Nitya sattvastaha. Always get rooted in the sattva guna. Vedas are talking of 3 gunas. Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha. In that, one guna is sattva guna, which is for clarity, which is for knowledge, which is for mumukshutvam, etc. Nitya sattvastaha bhava. Niryoga kshema atmavan. That bhava is to be understood. You become niryoga kshema atmavan. Atmavan. In yourself, you become that person. That person is what? Niryoga kshema. Yoga kshema is what? Yoga is what? Whatever you do not have, you obtain that. That is called yoga. Right? A teenage girl is not yet married and she gets married. That becomes yoga. Right? And kshema is what? Protecting that marriage very nicely is kshema. Yoga, kshema. That kind of a thing you can apply to everything in our daily life. Yoga, kshema. I don't have money. I acquire money. I have to keep that money safely. That is kshema. Acquiring money is yoga. I don't have great strength, but I have to acquire great strength. I acquire yoga. And I have to keep on protecting that. Suddenly I got into diarrhea. That is gone. That strength is gone. Kshema has disappeared. Niryoga kshema atmavan. Okay. I think we have crossed at 8 o'clock. Any questions tomorrow, please? Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody. We'll meet tomorrow.
Hari Om Nana.
Yo.
Hello.
Dhanyavad.